So we'll further our discussion from where we have concluded in the last class. The board is visible now in the video clearly. No? The writing is visible now. Maybe little slant is there. Now, yesterday one formula what we have seen is, suppose I take a beaker, division, and suppose at a height of 2 meters from the top, I want to know what is the pressure. I want to know the pressure of this particular point PA. How do I find out? It is, this liquid is water. This liquid is water. So rho W G H. You can see here the pressure is expressed. What is the main parameter here? Height. These two are constant. Let me tell you that rho W is, that is density of water, is 1 gram per cc. You should know this value. Or in terms of kg per meter cube, it is 1000 kg per meter cube. Here, this value you are supposed to remember. In CGS unit, it is 1 gram per cc. In MKS system, it is kg per meter cube. This value you are supposed to know. Now, this maximum density, we discussed anomaly of water. There was anomalous behavior of water. What was the temperature, Rajit?
1 degree.
No, it is 4 degrees Celsius. The density of water is maximum. So this basically, this value is 1000 kg per meter cube. It is maximum at 4 degrees. Otherwise, it is very close to 997 kg per meter cube. You do not have to take 997 and do the calculation. You are supposed to take 1000 and do the calculation. I'm just telling the concept behind it. Okay. This is the density of water. Instead of water, if you are putting some other liquid like kerosene, you are putting, or petrol you are putting, or some other liquid, mercury you are putting, you have to put which density? You have to put the density of that liquid. Clear? So this step becomes PA will be equal to, if I am calculating in kg per meter cube, it is 1000 into G approximately 10, and this is 2 meters. So what is your answer? This is 20,000 pascals or 20 kilopascal, isn't it? 1 lakh pascals is approximately 1 bar. Just units we are just cross-checking. 1 lakh pascal is 1 bar. So this is how many bars? 0.2 bar. 20,000 divided by 1 lakh. 1 upon 5. 0.2 bar. If you want to write this in terms of bar, it is 0.2 bar. You should know how to convert between Pascal and this thing, because most of the times sometimes we are talking in terms of bar also. So this is one concept. Then suppose I want to find out a greater depth, the same height you have to take. The height from the surface you have to take, not from the bottom. Remember this, not from the bottom, from the top, from the surface. Okay. Then there is a concept of, because we are talking about density, there is a concept of relative density. Have you ever heard this name? Relative density. Have you ever heard this name? Relative means comparison. You are trying to, relative motion, relative speed, relative acceleration, what are you trying to do? You are trying to compare two different parameters, two different objects at different speeds. So here also we are comparing densities of two substances. Now here relative density RD is defined as density of the substance you want or the liquid you want divided by density of the reference material. What did I say? The reference material. You are comparing the density of liquid with the reference material. Usually the reference material, reference liquid is taken as water. Here, So if I want to say what is the relative density of petrol, RP of petrol, how do I write? I will write rho of petrol by rho of water. So you can see this is a number. There is no unit for relative density. Relative density is basically a number. It will tell you how denser it is when compared with the water. How more denser it is or less denser it is. Alright. So density by density, it has got no unit. It is only a number like 7, 13.6, like this. By the way, 13.6 is the relative density of mercury. Many times we come across this mercury in these calculations and all that. You should remember this value 13.6. What is the meaning of it? It is 13.6 heavier than water. If relative density is more than 1, what does it mean? Density of petrol, you know that petrol is lighter than water. So obviously this will be less than 1. Because you pour petrol in water, it will float onto the top. If you pour petrol in water, the petrol will float to the top. Okay, that flotation and all that we will see, discuss detail. Here only we are talking about number. So if the relative density is more than 1, that means this liquid is heavier than the water. If it is less than 1, it is lighter. Clear? So you should write this. So relative density more than 1, heavier than water, less than 1, lighter than water. Okay. So sometimes in the question they will give you relative densities of different liquids. Okay. They may give you a number. So what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to find out the actual density. How do you find the actual density? Take the number, multiply with the rho of water. So these two values you should very well remember. Very, very important. So just write down on this. Alright. By doing these calculations for the pressure, this equation, I told yesterday also that the shape and the size doesn't matter. It matters only the height. So sometimes the pressure is expressed in terms of height of water or height of mercury. Clear? Suppose they say the pressure at a particular point is 2 centimeter of mercury. They will just like this, write like this. What is the meaning of that? The meaning of that is, if you place a mercury column, this much pressure is what you are expecting there. So the actual pressure will be rho GH only. So rho GH means you have to put the mercury density. Just now I told you it is 13.6. Relative density of mercury, you should write it in notes, is 13.6. So what is the density? 13.6 into 1. If I am talking in grams per cc. Okay. Or we will write in kg per meter cube. SI. This is the density. G is 10 and 2 centimeter of mercury. So 2 divided by 100. These many pascals is the pressure there. But because rho G is constant, usually a constant, so they talk only in terms of height of mercury. So this is what you have to understand. You should not think how he is writing height as pressure. Sir told me that it is Pascal. Now he is writing centimeter. It is not like that. You have to convert this into pressure. This is the calculation that is involved. Write on this. Pascal's law. It's a very important Pascal's law. Okay. Now here, basically, it is observed that suppose you have different containers, interconnected containers. You have a series of interconnected containers. Okay. Like this. So on and so forth. Maybe here. Like this. Okay. All these lines are same. Okay. And you pour water inside this. After some time, what happens? You are pouring it. It will settle down. All will settle down to the same height. All will settle down to the same height. You can do this experiment at your home. Yes, all these are interconnected. What do I mean by interconnected? So here, this water after it will pass to this container. Then it will pass to this container. After some time, it will settle down. State of equilibrium will come. You will notice that in every container, the height, if measured from the bottom, this is same. Height is same, pressure is same. Just what I told you. All are liquid only, rho GH. So, at equal heights, the pressure remains same. At equal heights, we are talking about hydrostatic pressure. The pressure remains same. So, you can see that everywhere the pressure remains same. Okay. Now, this can be proved actually. So, here gravity shouldn't be considered. Gravity masses shouldn't be considered. So, what I am in simple language, what I am saying, if H is same, P same, but do not consider gravity masses. We will discuss about what is gravity masses. Okay. So, it is applicable even on the walls. When you are pouring some liquid, into a container, in the middle you will have some pressure. Now, this liquid is exerting some pressure on the walls also. It is applicable to that also, provided you are not considering the gravity. Okay? Write on this. So, what is the meaning of it? Suppose you have a container. Okay? And you have another container. Let us say it is connected. And if I take, this is point A, the corresponding point is A here. If I take, this is point B, the corresponding point is B. Alright? So if I am calculating the pressure here, it is PA, it is also PA here. This can be bigger, this can be smaller. This can have more height, this can have less height. The sizes may be different, but the pressure at this point and this point will be equal. The pressure at this point, the corresponding point is equal. What do we mean by corresponding point? If you are taking 7 cm from the bottom, here also you are taking 7 cm from the bottom. Okay? They are at same heights. The pressures will be equal. Clear? So this is the application of Pascal's law. Pascal's law we can apply to our benefit. Okay? While doing some pressure calculations in the manometers and all these things we will be studying. How do we calculate pressure? What are the tools that we use to measure pressure practically? So we will be applying Pascal law is a very, very important topic. You can expect one question of this definitely. Some application of Pascal law is every year tested. It's a very, very important topic in this fluid mechanics. Okay? You should practice some numericals based on Pascal's law. Basically, Pascal law is very easy. It only says that the pressure at different points are equal, provided they are the same height from the reference line. They are the same height from the reference line. I can take reference line as this. I can take reference line as this. You cannot take one reference line for this, and you cannot take one reference line for this, and you cannot take another reference line for this. You need to take same reference line. All this you should write part of it. Okay? Reference line should be the same. Okay? And which height? Many times students do mistake. Which height we are talking here? We are coming from the top surface. Do not measure from the bottom. Okay? But this one, see, here you are measuring from the bottom now. See, this is 7, this is 7, this is 7. The height has to be same. And the reference line has to be same. Okay? But while doing pressure calculations, We come from the surface. That point you should remember. There's a couple of small points in that absolute pressure. Just let us understand that. Yesterday we have seen that I'll come back to this. But before that, see, yesterday we were discussing this point. Suppose you want to find the pressure here. Alright? You're forgetting about this air is there. How do you find the pressure? Simply the pressure was rho GH, provided this is your height. Right? Now what is the total pressure here? This is not a total pressure. This is the pressure of only this liquid column. You know, imagine a liquid column here. Imagine a liquid column here. It is exerting a pressure on this layer. That we have calculated. So what is the absolute pressure? Absolute pressure is PO plus rho GH. Okay? So you imagine from here it is open to air. It is open to air. So if it is open to air, it is experiencing what? Atmospheric pressure, right? It is already experiencing atmospheric pressure, and you are calculating here. So you have to add this pressure also. So your P is equal to rho 0 plus rho GH. I mean P0 plus rho GH. This is your absolute pressure. What is gas pressure? Absolute pressure minus this atmospheric pressure, you get the gas pressure. That is the gas pressure. Now suppose here, in the similar situation, here you are going inside water. Suppose I want to find above water. I have taken a tube or something and I am trying to find out the pressure here. Now here how do I calculate? So here, see at this point it is P0. Would you agree? Just now you learned Pascal also. So it is P0 here, it is P0 here, it is P0 here, it is P0 everywhere. On the surface I am talking about. Okay? On the surface it is P0 provided the container is open to air. The container is not open to air, you cannot put P0. It's a very important point, write it in your notes. Open container you can put P0. It's a closed container, you cannot put P0. This is the first basic. Okay? Now, I have taken a projection over the surface of water. Then how do I find? How do I find pressure? You can see here pressure is P0, here also inside the tube it is P0. Okay, look here. Here also it is P0 only. Just because there is some here, it is also P0 only. So here the pressure will be, the whole thing was air and replaced by this object here. So you have to actually deduct it. While calculating the pressure here, now there is a tube here. You have put what I say, an open type of. You are finding the pressure. See here you are going inside the water. You want to find above the water surface. So the procedure slightly changes. So inside the water you are actually adding atmospheric pressure. Above water you have to deduct P0 minus rho GH you have to do. So why I am supposed to do this? This much area you have already considered for atmospheric pressure. So this portion has to be deducted from it. Because you have already considered that in the atmospheric pressure. You cannot consider twice. You cannot consider a particular thing twice. It is like, intersection sets, you have these sets in maths. This is set A, this is set B, alright. So when we are considering this, see what is this portion? This is intersection. So it is a common thing for this also and this also. But you have to count it only once. You cannot count it twice. Suppose this is set A, this is set B, I am taking A and B. I cannot count this twice because physically it is only once. So what are you doing? Number of A plus number of B minus number of A intersection B. You are taking out 1 because when you are adding, already it has been added twice. So one number you are reducing. Similarly, I am doing something similar to that. How many understood what is it? So you have to see that whether you are calculating inside the water or above the water. Above the water, you should know what is the height given. But here the formula slightly changes. Here it is P0 minus rho GH. Inside the water, it adds. Above water, it deducts. So this is the point. Okay. While doing sums, this type of. Okay. So let us see. Through experiment, can we understand Pascal law? Suppose you have a system like this. You have a wall chamber of this shape, let us say, and here everywhere you have put pistons. What did you put? These are basically openings which are connected to a slot, and here you have put pistons. This entire thing is closed. You have put pistons here. By this time I know what is a piston. I hope everyone knows what is a piston. A piston is something like this. You have a container. You are like pouring some liquid. I think I did one numerical also on this. So you put a piston here. So you apply pressure, the piston will move down, right? You can assume that some movable lid kind of it, जो move करता है उस टाइप का कोई ढक्कन, और बीच में गैप नहीं होना चाहिए. If there is a gap in there, the water will go out. It should completely fill over there. It should completely cover it. So what is when you are applying force, what is happening? We are applying pressure. What is this liquid happening? Happening to liquid. Compressed. You are pushing this up. Liquid is getting going under volumetric expansion. Here it is going under volumetric contraction. Compression we call it. Okay. So that is piston. So single pistons I have closed it. So it is airtight. What is it? It is airtight. You know how I do it? Okay. Now, let us say I apply a force. Now, obviously these pistons will have some cross-sectional area. Let us say this area is A, this area is 2A, this area is A, and this is A by 2. Let us say that. Different pistons, different cross-sections. All are not identical. And you apply a force here. Obviously, you apply some pressure here. You know what happens? It is observed that inside there is all air molecules. You exerted a pressure, so they will try to push this out. They will try to push this pistons out. Now here I am assuming that the mass of the piston is negligible, because if the piston is bhari, it will not push. I am assuming that they are very light. The pistons are very massless. Pistons are massless, I am assuming. Why I am assuming? Because when you are putting pressure here, if the piston is very bhari, it will not go out. Clear? Now, in order to put it back, in order to put this pistons back, because you want airtightness. So, experimentally what they have seen is, here because you have put F force, here you have to put your pendulum motion started. Go and have put some chill water and chill yourself here. Like this. मेरा ही क्लास में क्यों बैठा होता है? दूसरी बात जो जैसा छोड़ दे इतना बोरिंग है क्या? Is it boring? क्यों? जुनैद भाई बोरिंग है? इंटरेस्टिंग है? क्योंकि मैं इंटरेस्टिंग करके पढ़ा रहा हूँ ना, कहानी पढ़ा रहा हूँ. So you are putting some force here. It will try to push it out. No, I don't want this cork to go out. I have to put a force. So they observe that here 2F force is required. Here, here F by 2 force is required. Here 2F force was required. That means here 10 newtons is required. Here 10 newton force is given. Here 20 has to be given. F is only a variable. Clear now? Here they observe that it is 3F force that is required. Alright? So this is what they observed physically. Clear everyone? You have put a force here, it will try to go out because this pressure will try to push it out. That piston is massless, so it will try to throw out. But you want to fix it. If you want to fix it, you have to put a force. So they observe that here you have to put F by 2 force. So if you calculate pressures at all these points, what is the pressure here? The pressure here is F upon A. What is the pressure here? Force upon area. It is 2F upon 2A. The pressure here was 3F upon 3A. And the pressure here was F by 2 by A by 2. Are you seeing any trend? All are equal, no? So, when you applied some pressure here, it was on the walls, everywhere the pressure was same. On the walls, everywhere it was same. That's what is Pascal's law. But here you made an important, here you are talking about pressure on the walls. You are talking about pressure on the walls. But you made one important assumption here. Then it is applicable. If the piston, if there was a mass of a piston, even that also has to be considered in the calculation of the pressure. Self-weight, you have some weight, no? You stand, you are already 50, 60 some kgs, you are already exerting some pressure, no? I put something on your head. I cannot consider only the weight of that, I have to consider the weight of your body also, no? But here you are saying that is negligible. Clear everyone? That part is negligible. So you are not considering the weight of the piston. You are considering only the weight of only the force, external force you are applying. This weight is internal, but the force is external. You are talking only about the external force, not the internal stuff. Clear now? So this is how Pascal's law can be physically understood. Okay? It's given there. Go and read. So we will see application of Pascal's law. One application is hydraulic lift. Hydraulic lift. It is quite similar to the lift we are using in an apartment. You can really transport people using a hydraulic lift. You can simply use the concept of this Pascal's law. Obviously, you cannot use it for multi-story apartment. I will just show you why it is not applicable. But chota mota building you can do that. You can even push your car up. How I will show you. Suppose you have two containers like this, alright, of different sizes. The sizes are not same. This is Laurel, this is Hardy. You know Laurel Hardy, you know? You know Tom Jerry, you know? So similarly, Laurel and Hardy, there were two characters, comic characters. Like they conduct, Laurel was very patlu, Hardy was very motu. So this is Hardy, this is Laurel. Okay. Now it has got some cross-sectional area, let us say A1. You applied some force F1. You applied some force. Obviously, when you are applying force, you are applying a pressure. So here, at the same point, the pressure will be same, right? The concept of Pascal law. This is interconnected. Okay. The pressures will be same. Just now we have seen, right? So here the cross-sectional area is A2. So here the pressure is same. What will this water try to do? Push it. So pressure is same here. Alright. So can I write F1 by A1 is equal to F2 by A2? Can I write it like this as per Pascal's law? Now this area is big. So here you have put big a car or something like that. Imagine. Now let us say this A1 is 10 centimeter square. A2 is let us say 200 centimeter square. Just say, what is the force you applied? Let us say you applied 20 Newton force. Then find out what is F2. Just solve it. F1 by A1. So because both sides it is centimeter square only, I am not calculating in terms of meter square. So it is 10 into 10 to the power of minus 4 is equal to F2 is divided by 200 into 10 to the power of minus 4. Am I right? So 10 power minus 4, 10 power minus 4 gone. So your what is unknown here? F2. So F2 is how much? 200 by 10 into 20. Am I right? So this is 20 times. So 20 into 20 is 400 newtons. 400 newtons. So you just put a bloody force of 20 newtons and you are lifting 400 newtons. Isn't it advantageous? Isn't it advantageous? So this is the application of, this is what you can make a platform here, you can make people sit over here. 400 newtons is what? 140 kg man? 140 kg can man can be thrown up like this. इसको हवा में ऐसे उड़ा सकते हैं. इधर छोटा सा फोर्स लगा करके इसको हम हवा में फेंक सकते हैं. 10 लोगों को उठा सकते हैं. That's why it is a lift. You can do that actually practically. It is possible. So it is one application of hydraulic Pascal's law. Okay? Quickly write. Clear everyone? So the second application of Pascal's law is hydraulic brakes. Ever heard hydraulic brakes? इस चीज़ का नाम सुना है? Hydraulic brakes. In vehicles they use hydraulic brakes. You can use this concept. So the system is this hydraulic brakes. Little bit work on the concept of the hydraulic lift only. The construction is little bit like this. I'm drawing a very schematic diagram. Schematic diagram is mota diagram. Not very perfectly to the scale and all these things. How the things work out, that type of a diagram. So here you have a big cylinder. It is called a master cylinder. It is called what? A master cylinder. So inside this, there is a piston. There is a piston. It's also called a brake panel. The driver will be somewhere sitting. Our Bolu will be sitting somewhere. वो टांग मारने के लिए वैसे बैठा. The driver is sitting. This is brake panel. तो गाड़ी को रोकना पसंद करोगे ना, ये चला दिया तो उसके जैसा है कि मेरा गाड़ी नहीं रुकेगा. मजाल में ब्रेक पे कुछ लोगों का ऐसा रहता है. मैं ब्रेक पे बहुत कम ड्राइव मारता हूँ. मैं एक्सपर्ट ड्राइवर हूँ. अभी यमराज के पास जाना होगा तो वो ऐसा कर सकता है. मुझे यमराज के पास नहीं जाना है, इसलिए मैं ब्रेक पैनल का सहायता लूँगा. तो दिस इज कनेक्टेड टू smaller cylinders. There are two smaller cylinders like this. It has got a piston. These are pistons. So they are connected like this. And this is called a brake caliper. These cylinders are called slave cylinders. They are called slave cylinders. You have got two pistons here. Alright. So here they put a friction pad. What they put? They put a friction pad. And here will be your wheel. You know what is a wheel? The friction pad, what it does? You are using friction. It touches it. The friction will try to stop it. Okay. यहाँ पे हाथ तो नहीं लगा सकते ना सर. व्हील में हाथ डालेंगे तो क्या हो जाएगा? क्या होगा पता नहीं. They put a high friction pads over here. Alright. Now, how it operates? So you have got a master cylinder. There is a piston arrangement here, and these are connected to slave cylinders. It has got a piston arrangement over here. They are interconnected, and now this is our Bolu. He will try to press the brake. The moment he gives a signal, what happens? This chamber is filled with oil. This chamber is filled with oil. Now he is trying to apply the pressure like this. So here there is oil. Now some oil, कुछ भी oil. So this oil, not कुछ भी oil, but some bloody oil. Okay. Now he is applying pressure. So compression. what will this oil do? Oil will travel here. Okay, there is a slot here. Okay, this is all connected. The oil will travel here. It will come over here. Okay, it will fill this chamber and it will travel here. Okay, and it will fill this chamber. So when it fills the chamber, what it will do? It will push this piston in this direction. It will push this piston in this direction. So when it is pushing this piston in this direction, obviously this friction pad also is pushed. So you want to apply brakes, you put pressure, more oil, more compression. This friction will come and attach to this, and your tire will stop. Your tire will stop. Understood how it works? So here you are applying some pressure, and this pressure can you equate? If it is force is F1 by A1 will be equal to F2 by A2. The pressures are same here. Alright? So using some mechanism you are able to stop the vehicle's wheel. If you are stopping the wheel means you are stopping the vehicle only. So this is the concept in hydraulic brakes. So with this I am concluding today's class. This video I will post it in that. Some people are asking where is this, all these videos. These videos are in mechanics playlist only. I have put nice titles also. You can see the title and you can study. Okay.